Yes.
You can see my screen now.
Yes.
I wrote some names. Those people, please try to check your audio settings. Class. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll try to tell you what are the prerequisites for SAP UI5.
Hi, Vijay here. This is Rajesh.
Okay,
Rajesh, I have one doubt before you start. So is it like the both classes combined demo or
means what? Last time I
like
took two classes. Those two classes I'm going to cover in the same class today.
okay, that's what I just wanted.
Okay.
Thanks.
So let us start from the prerequisites of SAP UI5 plus OData services, and prerequisites for SAP Fiori. So the prerequisite here is first you need to have some core ABAP fundamentals. You need to have some core ABAP fundamentals like internal tables, and you need to know how to make use of work area, and you need to know how to make use of data dictionary, that is complete SE11. You need to have an idea, that is domains, data elements, search helps, and then tables, table types, and then structures. So all these fundamentals are important. Domains, data elements, search helps, tables, table types, and structures. Complete data dictionary is important for SAP UI5, OData services. OData services are nothing but gateway services here. Don't get confused. And not only data dictionary, you need to have some basic idea about how to make use of system variables like psi-uname, psi-dbcnt, psi-language, and psi-index, and then psi-tab index, and then something like dbcnt, uname, and uzeit, etc., etc. So better to have knowledge on system variables of core ABAP. Then what we need to do is, what you need to have is database operations. Better to have idea on database operations like select statement, how to use delete statement, then update statement, insert statement, modify statement. So database operations, it's better to have an idea before starting our course. And you need to have some basic idea of how to make use of if, end if statement, do, end do statement, and case, end case statement, and loop, then end loop statement. And then it's better to have an idea on how to call a function module. That is a function module or BAPI or RFC. It's better to have an idea on how to call function module, how to call BAPI, or how to call RFC. So these are the prerequisites for our course. If you have this knowledge, if you have knowledge on these 6 concepts, then you can easily learn and you can easily do these things in real time as well. UI5, OData services and Fiori.
Vijayendran?
No, just don't disturb me in middle. I'll try to clarify all your doubts at the end of the session. Last 20-30.
Okay, I mean, my basic question was, I'm not from a web background, and whether I should be attending this session or I should be, because I don't know any of these.
So,
mostly I know about the database.
If you are from non-ABAP background, then only you can go for UI5 and Fiori. SAP UI5 front-end and Fiori is applicable for non-ABAP programmers. And if you are from ABAP, if you are from ABAP background, then all these three things will be useful.
So what do you suggest as such, to go ahead with the course or just to drop out from this meeting?
You can go ahead because in real time there will be some most of the requirements will be on UI5 and Fiori. And if they know ABAP, then they also go for OData services, because OData services is mainly dependent on these things. Remaining things are general. Let me write here. Only OData services are dependent on core ABAP. And UI5 plus Fiori, they are independent. Anyone can understand. It's not dependent.
So will you be providing some documentation or something like that to, I mean, like candidates like me who can?
Yes,
I mean,
for this.
No,
let me complete. If you want this basic, then I'll send the documentation. Okay, you need not worry. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
UI5 Fiori is not dependent directly on ABAP, but OData services is dependent on core ABAP. And if you are from non-ABAP background, then I'll try to send the documentation for these things so that you can learn some basic things. Okay. But
hello.
overall, yeah.
Hello. Hi, Vijayendar. I joined a bit late. Like, I would like to know, like, I am basically from SAP EP background, admin, but I don't have any deep knowledge in ABAP.
If you are,
so like,
you are from basis and EP admin, is it like that, or portal consultant?
No, portal.
Portal consultant, you can concentrate on UI5 and Fiori.
Okay.
Got the point?
Okay, but OData services is required
OData
to know, right?
OData services, the ABAPers will develop.
Oh. Okay, but for knowledge purpose, we should
Yeah,
know, like,
for knowledge purpose, I'm just telling you these are the prerequisites. If you want to complete this entire course, then these prerequisites are required. Otherwise, you can concentrate on UI5 and Fiori.
Okay, okay. Only this much knowledge of ABAP is required, right?
Yes, yes.
You have mentioned.
Yes.
Okay, you will be covering that in the as a part of the course?
These core ABAP fundamentals I'll be using whenever required in our course. I'll be straight away using, and I'll just give the comment and the purpose of that statements if I use inside OData services. These are not essential. These are not essential, but better to know. That is the point.
Oh, okay. So you can provide us some basic material related to only this topic,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, I'll provide that. Okay.
Oh, okay, thanks.
So these are not essentials. These are just better to have, but not mandatory. Okay.
Okay.
Right. So I'll start the session, and please don't disturb me in the middle. Try to attend the entire session. At the end of the session, I'll clarify your doubts. Okay. Please follow this principle. At the end of the session, I'll clarify all your doubts. And please try to mute yourself so that you can listen to me properly. Okay. I'll clarify all your doubts at the end of the session. Last 30-35 minutes, I'll clarify the doubts. Okay. Because it's an online session, we can't have directly one-to-one in between the sessions. I'll complete my explanation for 2.5 hours. Then last 30 minutes, I'll take all your doubts. One-to-one, I'll clarify. Please follow this. Okay, so these are the general prerequisites for this entire course. And especially only OData services is dependent on core ABAP. Remaining things, UI5 Fiori, they are general things. You need not worry about core ABAP. Right, so first of all, let us understand, if you want to know UI5 and Fiori related things, first of all, you need to know the difference between like SAP ABAP screens and SAP UI5 screens or SAP Fiori screens. First, let us start from this topic. So you need to know the difference between SAP ABAP screens and SAP UI5 and SAP Fiori screens. So this is the first topic I'd like to start. Then you will understand why we require UI5, why we require Fiori. So it's very simple. Let me start with a diagram. So in case of SAP ABAP screens, in case of SAP ABAP, what exactly happens is there will be a client, that means the end user, and there is a client and is going to make use of GUI software, GUI, graphical user interface. And this is a client, and right side I'm trying to show you this is a server. It's a server, and server can be SAP ECC or CRM or SRM or SEM. Please try to mute yourself. So ECC, CRM, SRM or SEM, it can be any server like this. So what exactly happens is the request and response will be between client and server. That's a general thing. From client there will be a request to server and server will respond to the client. This is what happens in every application. Client will send request to server and server will respond to client. This is what happens in all the applications in real time. And in case of SAP ABAP also the same strategy is followed, but what exactly happens is the code related to events related coding will be executed in server. For example, submit event or edit event or something like change event. So different events, all the events will be executed in the server here in case of ABAP. In case of ABAP, all the events and its related coding will be executed inside the server. And not only that, the validations are also will be executed in the server. Validations related code also gets executed in the server machine. Okay, and not only this, the coding which is related to screen designing, will also be executed in the server. Code related to screens, that means table screen element, roadmap screen element, checkbox, radio button, all these are the screen elements. Radio buttons, drop down. So the code related to all these screen elements also will be executed inside the server. Table is created in Table is generated in GUI, but the code is executed in the server. Radio button is displayed in client, but the functionality is executed in the server. Drop down is shown in client, but the code is executed in the server. So that means the functionalities which are related to screens also will be executed inside the server machine. The functionalities which are related to screens, table, drop down, radio button, checkbox, etc., etc., they are also executed in the server. And not only that, I can say database operations are also executed in the server. Database operations like select statement, delete, update, modify, insert. Delete, insert, modify, all database operations. So database operations are also executed inside the server here. And not only this, your RFC BAPI functionalities, RFC or function module or BAPI functionalities, they are also executed inside the server. Okay, so only screen is displayed for client. Just only screen is displayed for client here. Just only screen is displayed for end user in client machine. Okay, please notice that. Just only screen is displayed for end user in client machine, but the actual coding related to events, the coding related to validations, the code related to screens, and the code related to something like database operations, and the code related to RFC BAPIs, everything gets executed in the server. The only screen is displayed for user, so he can perform some operations. But the actual functionalities are getting executed always inside the server in case of SAP ABAP applications. So this is a diagram, and this is the diagram for ABAP related applications. So let me write a note here. In case of, after completing the class, I'll send this note file to everyone. You need not write anything while listening. Just listen to the class, the note file, whatever I'm writing, and the diagram, whatever I'm giving here, I'll be sending at the end of the class. Don't worry. So in case of SAP ABAP applications, I can say almost all the functionalities are executed in server machine. In case of SAP ABAP applications, almost all the functionalities are executed in server machine. So ABAP applications are generally call it as stateful applications here. ABAP applications, we can generally call it as stateful applications because all the functionalities are getting executed in the server machine. Almost all the functionalities are executed in server machine, so that's the reason why we use a terminology like stateful. Stateful means everything is taken care by server in case of ABAP. But in case of SAP UI5, or in case of SAP Fiori, let us understand what exactly happens here. In ABAP, this is what happens. But in case of SAP UI5 and SAP Fiori, what exactly happens is definitely there will be a client, there will be a server. There's a client and there will be a server. So client means in case of UI5, client will use browser here. In case of UI5 and Fiori, the client will use a browser. So that means the end user will use a browser here. So what exactly happens is, in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, I can say the code related to events related coding, like a submit event or edit event or any type of event, change event. So all the events related coding, it is executed in the client machine itself. Not only events, most of the validations, not 100%, but most of the validations related coding also gets executed in the client. Validations related code also executes inside client machine here. That means in browser. And not only validations, I can say the coding whichever is responsible for screens. The coding which is responsible for screens, so screen related coding. Screen related coding also will be executed inside the client. That means table creation, roadmap, or drop down, or radio button, or checkbox, etc., etc. So the coding whichever is responsible for screen designing, they are also executed inside the client machine here, in case of UI5 and Fiori. The coding which is related to screens like table, drop down, checkbox, radio button, input field, all those things will be executed in client machine itself, directly in the browser. But only database operations is executed in the server. Here it can be SAP ECC or CRM or SRM or SCM. So in case of UI5, only database operations are executed here in the server. And apart from this, some RFCs and BAPIs also will be executed inside server here. Remote function call, BAPI, RFC, they are also executed inside the server here. But I can say events, validation, screen related coding. So most of the functionalities are getting executed inside the browser here, except database operations and RFC BAPIs. But ultimately, there will be a request and response between client and server. That is general point, but here the request and response will be HTTP request here, and the response will be HTTP response. So what I mean to say is, in case of SAP UI5, most of the coding is executed in client. Only database specific operations and only RFC BAPIs are executed in the server. So let me write that note. In case of SAP UI5 or Fiori applications, almost all the functionalities are executed in client machine. under browser. So here it is, in case of ABAP totally is server, and in case of UI5 Fiori it is client machine here. So since most of the applications, most of the functionalities are executed in the client, so SAP UI5 and Fiori applications are known as, stateless applications here. There is some beep sound. I'll try to check later. I don't find that option to disable. You can see in case of UI5 and Fiori, we are calling it as stateless applications. We are calling it as stateless applications because most of the functionalities are getting executed in client machine. So that's the reason why your ABAP is stateful applications. But UI5, they are totally stateless applications. Stateless applications. So that is the first main difference between ABAP and this UI5 and Fiori. So because of these things, we can have several advantages. This is a general difference between ABAP and UI5, but there are some more differences, so that we'll try to understand now. Not only these things, let me give the list of other things here. So let me create one option like table, and here I'll write the options, and here I'll write SAP ABAP, and here I'll write SAP UI5 or Fiori. So let us understand some more differences here. So in case of type of application, as I told you already, ABAP is totally a stateful application. In case of UI5 and Fiori, they are stateless. They are stateless. Left side stateful, right side is stateless. And not only that, type of connection. So ABAP applications are more suitable for something like intranet purpose. It also supports internet, but that is not recommended and not suitable. So SAP ABAP applications are mainly for intranet purpose. But in case of UI5 and Fiori, you can develop intranet applications, you can go for internet applications also. In case of UI5 Fiori, you can have intranet features as well as internet features. And in case of type of device, SAP ABAP is more suitable for desktop applications. That means desktop devices. SAP ABAP is more suitable for desktop kind of devices. But in case of SAP UI5 Fiori, it supports desktop, it supports tablet, and it supports like mobiles. UI5 Fiori application supports all the devices which are existing in the market. Mobile devices, tablet devices, and desktop devices also. But in case of complexity, in case of application complexity, I can say SAP ABAP is only for larger applications. But in case of SAP UI5 Fiori, we go for larger applications for desktop purpose. We develop larger applications for desktop purpose. And we develop medium applications for tablet kind of devices. And we can develop smaller applications for something like mobile devices. That's the strategy we try to follow. Okay, but when you develop any application, it is going to support all the three things in UI5 and Fiori. This is the recommendation. Larger application is for desktop, medium application is for tablet, smaller application is for mobile. That is a recommended guideline, but our application will support all the three things. Okay, so that is how we try to follow the strategy. And not only this, we have some other differences. As I told you, in case of SAP ABAP, majority of the functionalities are executed in the server. Majority of the functionalities are executed in the server, so that's the reason why server is overloaded in case of ABAP. If most of the functionalities are executed and taken care by server, then automatically server will be overloaded, server will be overburdened. So because of that, performance wise, there will be some problem. There will be a problem in case of ABAP with respect to performance, because everything is taken care by server. So let me write that here. Performance factor. Performance wise, SAP ABAP is average because all functionalities are handled by server. That is a problem here. Average performance. But in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, as I told you, most of the functionalities are handled by client here. Except database operations and RFCs, the remaining functionalities are totally taken care by client, so you can get better performance and best performance if you compare with ABAP screens. So that means this is going to have better performance or best performance. As of till today, it will have best performance because it's very simple. Almost all functionalities are taken care by client. That is the point here. Here, in case of ABAP, it is taken care by server. So, in case of UI5 Fiori, and Fiori, so server is not overloaded. In case of UI5 and Fiori, server is not overloaded because most of the things are under client here. So server is not overloaded. That's the reason why you can get best performance in UI5 and Fiori. Okay, and not only that, I can say the content generated for execution. The content generated for execution, in case of SAP ABAP, more content is generated internally. To execute.
अरे यार ये डिस्कनेक्ट ही हो गया भाई मेरा तो.
In case of SAP ABAP, the more content is generated for execution in the background. So that also is having a problem with respect to performance. more content is generated for execution. So when more content is generated for execution, definitely performance wise there will be a problem. But in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, I can say less HTML content is generated. The content it is generated here is HTML content. So less HTML content is generated in case of UI5 Fiori. So less content, you'll get more good performance. More content, you'll get less performance here. So in case of UI5 Fiori, the HTML content which is generated internally, that will be of less size. So remember that point. Less HTML content is generated, so you can have good performance here. And not only this, I can say in terms of screen elements. In case of screen elements, SAP ABAP is having maximum of 15 screen elements. For designing the screens, we maximum have 15 screen elements in SAP ABAP. But in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, we have almost like 100 screen elements for screen designing. We have 100 screen elements for screen designing. But in case of ABAP, so there are very less number of screen elements. That is where customers are not satisfied. That's the reason why SAP has gone for UI5 and Fiori. The screens are not good in ABAP if you compare with UI5 and Fiori, because it has less number of screen elements, and UI5 Fiori has more number of screen elements. So I mean to say look and feel, that is nothing but appearance. So in case of SAP ABAP, look and feel appearance will be average here, not up to the mark. So, but in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, we have best appearance here, or I can say high class appearance. We can have high class appearance. Okay. So this is also one of the reason SAP has gone for UI5 Fiori. They have introduced UI5 and Fiori because to improve the appearance of the screens and to improve the performance of the applications. There are several factors where UI5 is introduced. These are the different factors that will influence. These are the important factors that will help you to understand why exactly UI5 came into existence. Okay, and not only these things. In case of something like what we call it as what type of application, type of connection, type of device, performance, content, screen elements, look and feel, and in case of skills or in case of database operations, what we try to do is to handle database operations. In case of ABAP, we can use with class and we can use without class. In both the ways we can handle. Database operations we can handle with class as well as without class in case of ABAP. But in case of UI5 and Fiori, we always use OData services for database interaction. OData gateway services for database interaction. Okay, but OData services internally uses classes. OData services internally uses classes. Okay, but mainly in simplistic way, if you want to understand, OData service is just to make use of database interaction with SAP backend systems. But these OData services internally will use some classes. We will understand in detail when I introduce the topic. Don't worry, but this is one of the difference here. And moreover, I can say in case of SAP ABAP, in case of type of screens, let me tell you that also. So in case of ABAP, the type of screens will be heavyweight screens here. Heavyweight screens, so consumes more memory. So it consumes more memory for loading. So in case of ABAP, all the screens are heavyweight screens. So heavyweight screens means it consumes more memory for loading those screens. When memory consumption is more, then performance also will be a problem here. So performance wise, it is bad. If you are using heavyweight screens, the memory consumption will be more. One second, I'll try to mute everyone. Yeah. So in case of ABAP screens, all the screens are heavyweight screens, so it consumes more memory. So when consumption of memory is more, then performance will be very bad. So, but in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, I can say they are lightweight screens. They are lightweight screens. So lightweight screens means they consume less memory for loading. Consumes less memory for loading because they are lightweight screens. So when you're dealing with lightweight screens, I can say performance will be better. Or I can say it will be best if you are using lightweight screens. Okay? And here, this is very, very, very important. All the factors which I wrote here, these factors are very, very important. And that is the reason why UI5 comes into existence. So not only these things, we have something like different tools here. In case of tools, in ABAP we use something like SE11, SE24, and we use something like SE37 and something like SEIT, etc., etc. But in case of SAP UI5 and Fiori, we make use of SE11 and we use SE24, SE37, and we can also use like SEGW. This is for OData services. OData NetWeaver Gateway Services. SEGW is the T code we are going to use for developing OData NetWeaver Gateway Services. And we are going to use for front end. In the front end, we are going to use SAP Web IDE. That's a tool. And this earlier we used to call it as River IDE. Earlier we used to call this as River IDE, but now it is renamed as SAP Web IDE. So that's a tool used for front-end designing. For database operations, we use OData services. For front-end designing, we use SAP Web IDE, and we are going to use even Eclipse also in our course. This is also for front-end screen designing. So this is in terms of tools. And in case of standard applications, I can say there are several standard applications here. Here also we have standard applications, but in case of SAP ABAP standard applications, customization is limited here. Customization is very limited in case of SAP ABAP standard applications. But in case of UI5 and Fiori, customization, you can do any type of customization here. Customization and enhancements can be achieved to any extent. To any extent. Whatever changes you want to do, you can change it here very easily. But in ABAP, it is not that easy because customization is restricted and it is very limited. But in case of UI5 Fiori, customization enhancements can be achieved to any extent. So please remember that. And one second. So not only these things. Okay, so first let me take the print screen. So this will help you. So these are the factors that will be responsible for ABAP, and these are the factors responsible for something like SAP UI5. So we are comparing these things. We are comparing these things with respect to our different types of options here. Type of application, type of connection, type of device, application complexity, performance-wise, content generation, screen elements, look and feel, database operations, type of screens, and so these are very important here. So these are the different factors available. So based on these factors, you can decide whether to go for SAP ABAP or whether to go for SAP UI5 and Fiori. So for any client or for any customer, whoever want to implement SAP, so these are the factors which will try to differentiate and which will try to help them to go for so and so technology. Okay, so as far as SAP is concerned, they say that most of the customers are not satisfied. Most of the customers are not satisfied with SAP ABAP screens. So that is SAP itself says that. SAP CEO, SAP something like director and SAP managers, they say that most of their customers are not satisfied with SAP ABAP screens. So that's the reason why SAP recommends to go for UI5 and Fiori for the customers who are not satisfied with ABAP screens, because it has lot of advantages here. One main advantage is it has mobile compatibility, and another advantage is it has more number of screen elements. Another advantage is it can have any high class appearance here. And another advantage is these are lightweight screens. So because of lightweight screens, performance is better. So these are the main things. And not only that, UI5 Fiori, they are comfortable for internet as well as internet. Internet as well as intranet. So this will give some clear picture. So let me highlight these things here. In case of SAP ABAP screens, I can say they are not suitable. They are not suitable for internet and not suitable for mobiles, and they are not having proper look and feel. They are not having proper look and feel. That is appearance, no proper appearance. And they are not having enough screen elements. And moreover, they are not yielding good performance. They are not good at performance. Got the point? Not good at performance. And what are the other things? Let me check here. And here, not good at customization. So these are some of the things that you need to know. Because in the interviews also they'll try to ask you these type of things. Why you need to go for UI5, why you need to go for Fiori instead of SAP ABAP. So these are the factors. These are the factors that will help you to go for UI5 and Fiori. Okay, but anyhow, these things already I covered in this note file. So I'll be sending this file to you at the end of the session. Okay, so let us understand. Now let us understand what is the architecture of our SAP UI5 OData services and SAP Fiori. So let us understand what exactly is the architecture of our total technology. So in general, what happens is there will be SAP NetWeaver Gateway. There will be SAP NetWeaver Gateway, and SAP NetWeaver Gateway, they are nothing but OData services. And we can write our database operations here. We can write our database operations here. But ultimately what I can say is any front end like UI5, SAP Fiori, let me write first. You can use any front end like SAP UI5, and you can use any front end like SAP Fiori, or you can use any front end like Microsoft SharePoint. You can use Microsoft .NET as a front end. You can use Java application as a front end, and you can also have PHP application as a front end. Or you can also have Excel sheet also as a front end. So front end application can be anything here. UI5 screen or Fiori screen, SharePoint screen, MS.NET screen, or Java screen, PHP, or Excel screen. So all these type of applications are capable of interacting with our gateway services here. Any front end can interact with our SAP NetWeaver Gateway to handle OData services with respect to database operations. Okay, so the front end can be anything: UI5 or Fiori, SharePoint, .NET, Java, PHP, Excel. So all these type of front end applications can communicate with gateway, and gateway can interact with backend systems like SAP ECC, or it can be SAP CRM, or it can be SAP SCM. It can be like SAP something like PLM and SAP SRM and you can also have SAP HANA here. So what I mean to say is, you can have any type of backend like this. It can be ECC, CRM, SCM, PLM, SRM, and HANA. So in ECC again, you will be having all these things like HR module, SD module, MM module, finance module, controlling, and etc., etc. All those things are applicable. You can have HR, SD, MM, finance, controlling, etc., etc. ERP modules. But ultimately, our NetWeaver gateway can communicate with all these SAP backend systems here. It can communicate with all SAP backend systems. So this is how architecture looks like. So let me write a simple note here. Under overall architecture, so SAP NetWeaver gateway services. So these NetWeaver gateway services are capable. They are capable of interacting with any backend system, and they are capable of handling any front-end application. But SAP NetWeaver gateway, the main purpose is to take care of database operations. So let me write that here. SAP NetWeaver gateway services can interact with any SAP backend system, any backend system like ECC, CRM, or SRM, or SCM, HANA, etc., etc. Okay, and moreover, any SAP front-end, or I can say any front-end application, can interact with SAP NetWeaver gateway services. So what I mean to say is SAP NetWeaver gateway services are independent. They are independent of independent of front-end applications. You can use any front-end, and any front-end can interact with SAP NetWeaver gateway services. SAP NetWeaver gateway services are independent of front-end applications here. So that means front-end can be anything, but gateway service will serve the database operations. And not only that, SAP NetWeaver gateway services are independent of SAP backend systems, because they are capable of interacting with any SAP backend systems. So these are the two things that you need to understand here. Advantage of NetWeaver gateway services. These are the two advantages. Okay, but what exactly happens is, so here database operations we are going to apply by using some ABAP statements here. because we are going to interact with SAP backend system. We are going to interact with SAP backend system, so database operations will be written in the form of ABAP statements. But front end can be anything. It can be again ABAP, or it can be again HTML, or it can be UI5 or anything. You can have front end. But database operations here, they are handled by using ABAP statements here. Okay, please notice that. And overall, I can say, let me tell you here. So let me make you understand SAP UI5. SAP UI5 is nothing but it is a front-end application. It is a front-end application, and this front-end application can be designed using some HTML, CSS and scripting tags. Okay, that is a point you need to understand. But it is going to get the data and insert the data into SAP backend systems. That is the main point here. SAP UI5 is a front-end application, and it can be designed using HTML, CSS and scripting. But ultimately, the interaction will be with the backend systems via gateway services. And SAP Fiori also, it is a front-end application and can be designed using SAP UI5 framework. UI5 framework here. So what I mean to say is, your SAP Fiori is a front-end application, but it is developed internally using a UI5 framework again. And UI5 framework internally uses this HTML, CSS and scripting. SAP Fiori applications are front-end applications, but these are front-end standard applications. That is the point here. Front-end standard applications here. So please notice that. Front-end standard applications here. But these standard applications are designed by using UI5 framework internally. So please notice that. And here, as I told you, NetWeaver gateway services are developed. Gateway services are developed using something like ABAP. So please remember that. So backend interaction will be ABAP, front end will be some HTML, CSS scripting tags. So that is how they are going to achieve these different, with this particular concepts, they are going to achieve these advantages here. All these things. Internet support, mobile support, high class screens, lightweight screens, performance factors, all those things SAP is trying to achieve just by following backend as ABAP, but front end as HTML, CSS scripting. Backend will be ABAP, but front end will be like HTML, CSS scripting. So what I mean to say is, SAP Fiori applications are standard applications. Just now I told you. They are standard applications, but these standard applications are designed for common functionalities. SAP has gone for SAP Fiori. SAP Fiori is a business package name. Is a business package which contains standard applications. Several standard applications developed using UI5 framework. It's a business package, that is a point here, and it's a business package which contains several standard applications, and they're developed using UI5 framework. These are the key points that you need to notice. So business package contains standard applications developed using UI5 framework, and OData services also developed using SAP Fiori is developed using SAP UI5 framework plus SAP NetWeaver gateway services. That means OData services. So this is for your SAP UI5. It is going to act like front end here for Fiori also. And gateway services will be like backend interaction. This is for backend interaction. And in front end designing for Fiori also, we are internally going to use some HTML, CSS scripting. And in the backend, we are going to use some ABAP. So please notice these things. So what I mean to say is, in UI5 or Fiori, we don't use Java coding. Java is nowhere related to this particular technology here. Most of the people are confused with this technology. It's very simple. SAP gateway services are nowhere related. They are nowhere directly related to Java coding. Java is totally different. Okay, and SAP UI5 is also nowhere related to, they are nowhere related to Java coding or Java concepts. And SAP Fiori is also nowhere related to Java here, because we don't write Java coding in any of these things. We don't write single Java line. Java is different. HTML, CSS scripting is different. Please notice that. Okay. We are not going to develop Java type of applications. We are going to develop our UI5 Fiori gateway, but they are not going to use any single Java line. They are not going to use single Java coding. And we are not going to write Java coding anywhere. We are just going to use HTML tags, CSS tags, scripting in the front end, and we'll use some ABAP statements for database interaction. But no way Java directly comes into picture at all. Please notice that. So, because most of the people are confused with this one. So let me write, it is no way related. So please notice that. And this note is important. So because most of the people used to ask me whether it is a Java related technology or ABAP technology. It's not like that. It is not related to pure ABAP or it is not related to pure HTML. It has a combination of both the things. Okay, it is a combination of ABAP as well as HTML scripting, but where we don't use anything like Java here. Java syntaxes are totally different from HTML and scripting syntaxes. So that's a point you need to notice. Okay. Then okay, so what I'll do is I'll try to explain something more about SAP Fiori here. Something more about Fiori, then I'll try to take your doubts. Okay. So let me tell you, as I told you here, SAP Fiori, it is a standard application. It's a standard application and it's a business package and it is developed using UI5 and gateway services. But what type of applications are standard applications that you need to know here? In case of SAP Fiori, there are some standard applications given by SAP, but standard applications are designed for commonly used business functionalities. Okay, so let me tell you here, SAP Fiori contains standard applications, there is no doubt, standard applications for commonly used business functionalities. Commonly used business functionalities. That is the point here. So, what do you mean by commonly used business functionalities here? Fiori contains commonly used business functionalities, for example, leave request, approval and rejection. Leave request, approval and rejection. That is a very common functionality in every business organization. So that's the reason why SAP has given a Fiori application for that. Leave request approving, leave request rejecting is a very common functionality in every business organization in this world. So SAP has given a standard Fiori application for that functionality. And not only this, timesheet approval and rejection process. It's a very common functionality. So SAP has given a standard Fiori application for that functionality. So timesheet approval and rejection process, SAP has given a Fiori application because they have realized that this is a very common functionality. And not only that, there is a purchase order approval and rejection process. Purchase order approval, so that is a very common functionality in every business organization, so we have SAP Fiori application for that. Okay, and not only that, something like purchase requisitions. So it's a very common functionality, so they have gone for SAP Fiori application here. And not only this, I can say changing sales order or creating sales order. So it's a very common functionality, so there is a Fiori application for that. There is a Fiori application for that, for creating sales order, because it's a common functionality. And changing the sales order is also a common functionality, so they've given a Fiori application for that. And of course, not only this, we have something like tracking the sales orders. To keep track of sales orders, so this is a common functionality to keep track of sales orders, so there is a Fiori application for that. And to keep track of something like shipments, that's a common functionality for most of the organizations, so we have a Fiori application for that. Tracking shipments. So not only that, tracking travel expenses here. So for that there is a Fiori application because it's a very common functionality. and applying leave request, applying for a leave. Apply for leave, that's also a very common functionality. So SAP has recognized it and they have given a Fiori application for that. So not only these things, SAP has given almost like SAP has given as of now there are 500 standard applications as part of SAP Fiori, developed using UI5 plus gateway services. Okay, so not only these things, I wrote some of these applications, but we have around 500 standard applications, and all these standard applications are part of Fiori, which is internally developed using UI5 and gateway services. So as of now, this is just an overview. This is just an overview, but when I go for individual topics, I'll discuss in detail. When we go for individual topics, we'll try to discuss in detail. And moreover, I can say, as part of our course, this is the syllabus. Course syllabus will be in this format. Course syllabus will be like, first I'll be covering object-oriented related fundamentals. Okay, object-oriented related fundamentals I'll try to take, but these fundamentals I'll be explaining with respect to our gateway services. Okay, so whatever I explain, these things are more than enough to develop the gateway services. So first I'll be explaining object-oriented related fundamentals, then I'll start the SAP NetWeaver Gateway OData services. After completing these fundamentals, I'll go and develop NetWeaver Gateway OData services. That will be the second part. And in third part, I'll be explaining some HTML5 tags, CSS tags, and scripting tags. I'll be explaining from the scratch level. Object-oriented fundamentals, I'll explain scratch level, and HTML5, CSS scripting also I'll explain from scratch level. So that's the third part in our course. After that, we are going to develop SAP UI5, and then that's the fourth part. And fifth part is SAP Fiori customization, enhancements, etc., etc. That's the fifth part. So this is the overall syllabus of our course. I'll go in this sequence. Okay, so those who are attending, you can be from any background, you may be from any background, but ultimately after the end of the course, you can develop real-time applications and you will be comfortable in real time as well. So this is the best sequence so that anyone can develop any of these applications. I have designed a course such that anyone can design any of these applications. So that's the reason why I am going to cover all these things. And the duration will be approximately, it will take around 70 hours. Okay, that is the approximate duration. And if it is a weekend, for weekend batch, what I'll do is I'll try to take almost like 10 weekends, 10 Saturdays and 10 Sundays. Approximately. It will be minimum 10 Saturdays and 10 Sundays if it is a weekend batch, and if it is a regular batch, This is weekend batch, and regular batch means Monday to Friday batch. Monday to Friday. So for that batch, what I'll do is the classes will be from Monday to Friday. The duration will be same, course content will be same, the explanation will be same, everything will be same, but the classes will happen Monday to Friday for regular batches. But for weekend batches, it will be only on Saturdays and Sundays. But the duration will be same 70 hours it will take. So please notice that. Monday to Friday, so that will be for regular batches. Okay, so this gives some clarity. And now I just gave, in this 1.5 hours, I was just explaining what exactly the differences, why we need to go for Fiori UI5, and this is just an overview. This is an overview of our total course. But when I discuss each and every topic, then I'll go in detail. Okay? Right. So I'll try to take some doubts from your side and I'll try to clarify. I'll go one by one. Please don't interrupt me. I'll go one by one. I'll ask each and every one. I'll start with Abdul. Abdul Syed.
Yeah, I'm okay. I mean, I'm following this.
Okay. There is no doubt?
Yeah, not right now.
Okay, fine. Then Anil.
Hello.
Yeah, Anil.
Can we instead of SAP connect third-party database also
From
like other than SAP, non-SAP system
From
through
UI,
SAP NetWeaver Gateway.
through NetWeaver Gateway, we don't use other backend systems. SAP recommends to go for SAP backend only. It's not for third party. So
Even we can connect SAP BIBO these kind of systems also.
yes,
SAP.
yes. SAP BIBO is SAP related system. Yes, any SAP system you can connect, but not other third party systems.
Okay.
Got the point?
Okay. Fine.
But let me tell you here, but from SAP UI5 screen, you can directly connect to some third party system here, not via gateway service.
But in NetWeaver Gateway, like which kind of technology we are using, like any like XML, some conversions for.
Internally, it will use XML and JSON.
Okay.
Got the point? We write ABAP coding in gateway services, but it internally uses XML JSON formats.
Okay.
Okay, but here NetWeaver Gateway will communicate with SAP systems, but from SAP UI5 you can connect to third-party system directly. By writing the code in UI5, you can connect to any third-party system, but not via gateway service.
Okay, fine.
Right. Then next one, Ankur. You have any doubt? Ankur Gupta.